I want to talk about a very unlovely topic and what might be going on not very far in the future. And this is called the fate of American servicemen all over the world, and also about Keynesian militarism, which is what the United States practices. Well, I don't know, I saw a statistics that about 60% of U.S. national budget, it goes to the military, it goes to secret intelligence programs, and also it goes to basically the U.S. bases all around the world. And this is just what rough estimate that the government has put out. But I also saw some discussion. I think the author that specializes in this topic, her name is Catherine Austin Fisk, talks about the black budget or secret programs that the U.S. government spends untold amounts of money, into a space force, and secret missions to Mars and secret missions to Moon, and also there is a lot of money that's been spent on manipulating or social engineering the public in the United States and in outside world, like in other countries, and also on programs to overthrow foreign governments, or brainwash them, or manipulate journalists, and well, these are all kind of form of Keynesian economics, which means that the government or the central bank that issues their money or credit, gives it to this establishment, and they spend the money, and then it shows up in mostly white middle class. They benefit, and they get to buy nice houses, and but this is also very precarious kind of situation. If something happened to the dollar, which means if the dollar collapses, then what actually will be left in the world would be thousands of bases, military bases everywhere. Then there won't be enough money or resources to pay off foreign leaders that have allowed U.S. military to come in and make bases there, and also pay for their own service members. And actually there is a prophecy by Edgar Casey, or there were some concerns or sayings by Edgar Casey that there will come a point in U.S. history that the American citizens will become worldwide targets, like become prisoners in foreign countries, or they become valuable as a bargaining chip for very hostile foreign governments or populations, that they look at these people as somebody that never was supposed to be there in their country, and then now that they are here, we could use them. Well, I saw something similar that was happening with the Palestinian. I was watching this news about Hamas, that the Hamas and the Palestinians are trying to break the wall in Gaza so they could go on the other side and grab the Israeli soldiers and then use them as a bargaining chip to bargain with Israel, because Israel was cutting their fuel supply or blockading them from fishing, or they become like these people that were military personnel, but then they became like hostages, and then the whole thing is a complete show and a sham, because first of all, many of these personnel or foreign advisors, they have no relationship to the country that they have gone in, and they think they own the place because culturally they don't belong, and genetically, when say an Arab in Oman or UAE, you look at one of these guys, he or she knows right away, hey, this is not an Arab, this is not one of us, this is somebody, a European or black or Spanish. I don't know if they'll be able to figure out, hey, somebody is Spanish, or what is he doing here in UAE or in Saudi or in Afghanistan. So they'll become like targets, and to exasperate these things, all this behavior that the U.S. government puts out, very hostile forms of sanction and also monetary manipulation to collapse the currencies of other countries, and also secret programs to overthrow many governments, and just the atmosphere is ripe for what I think is going to happen. That at some not too distant future, when the dollar collapses, then these people will become valuable on their own. I don't know if there will be break-ins into the bases, or the people who are in the bases and now they're cut off from the empire, they will be like auctioning off the goods that's on the base, military or otherwise, or they'll outright become mercenaries for foreign government. I don't know how things will turn out, but I do believe that Edgar Case's prediction is something that could be very real, and then also the refusal of U.S. Politician or stupid politician to recognize that things have ended, but still keep up the appearance of, hey, we are in charge, and that's it just exasperates a very bad situation. The other problem, and I think I'm a very small minority of people who even talk about this, is the whole business model or economic model that actually exists in the United States, which is this is how actually people get high wages, or at good times or bad times. This is the model or the system that works for the United States, is this tremendous amount of money that's allocated to the military, and to some extent to like, well, I think the Uncle Sam has 3 babies. One of them, the big fat one, is the military. Then the next one is the banking buddies and cronies of the system, and then the third one would be to the smallest, or the runt of the litter would be the health care. They get nice chunks of money for Medicare, and the hospitals. But that one, I don't think totally illegitimate. There is some, it might be valuable as a subsidy that the money comes in a legitimate way into society. But I think that when this model doesn't work anymore because the dollar has died, or there is a tremendous collapse in the credit markets, or everything deflates, and then the foreigners will not accept U.S. credit or U.S. dollar or U.S. bonds, then these next stages will become a reality. And the whole thing of making empires go out in the world and having a very small number of individuals to, like, make up a show, hey, we are in charge here in Afghanistan or in wherever, Timbuktu. This whole model is a bunch of crap, because if there is any change, this is a small number of people that they're incapable, no matter how much weapons they have, is to control foreign populations or millions and millions of people, or even their militaries, to propagate this situation. But I don't think that also many commentators, even like, well, I think some they know this is, and they talk about it. Like Celente, he talks about this. Kaiser Report, they talk about it. I think also Peter Schiff, he kind of mentions it. He knows this is going on, but many commentators and news, they don't even want to acknowledge that, hey, things can fall apart catastrophically, because it's such a sweet dream of being the exceptional Americans and really own the world and go from place to place. The U.S. military has all these facilities built up all around the world, and being the special person that goes and visits them. They don't want to give up this dream, and I think it's going to come to a sad end. The other thing is that in the aftermath, I think that there is also a lot of personal devastation. Like a lot of these people that come back, they're mentally ill, and then the whole society is here is going to be dedicated to servicing or helping these people. They're just a burden when they come back, because they have no skills to function in society, and all the industries that were like manufacturing or good jobs, they have died, and now this sector is also dying. Well, when you take your blinders off, your nationalism blinders, and you see the world, it looks quite different. It doesn't. It's just like when you watch a black and white movie, and then you go and watch the same movie, but it's in colors. Hey, there is a big difference. There's a lot of little hints, a lot of little things you see that you wouldn't normally see that. Well, thank you very much for being in my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and your opinion is valued. Please leave a comment. Well, I see that I'm like a really big black sheep. A lot of people, I see a lot of people come in and look at these ideas, but they don't dare to leave a comment. They don't, because they are also tied into this system, and they have these nationalistic sentiments. I saw a comment, and I don't know if it was a guy or a gal, and she wrote, I value your opinion, I agree with you, but you are not the one who's gonna cut me a check. So, hey, what if one of these days somebody is not cutting you a check, or they do cut you a check, but the check that just doesn't mean anything. Well, thank you very much. You have a nice day.